We're doing it. This is a 2. Are you like okay?
Hi.
Are you in crypto or are you not? Are you crypto adjacent?
Crypto adjacent.
How'd you get? Okay, first of all, let's get something clear.
Yeah.
You reached out to me to talk about your project.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of pull do you think this podcast has?
No, I'm just a fan of you.
Well,
And
please.
I think it would be fun to just have a conversation, even if not this, just to have a conversation.
Just to have a conversation.
I always see you in passing. We've shared time together, like at mics and stuff.
I've seen you at the
You
mics.
always made me laugh.
Well, right back at you.
Thank you very much.
You and the whole. You have a very meta crew.
Yeah, yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is. Did you happen to see the Easter egg on the website?
The Easter egg on the website.
Yeah. There's a
physical Easter egg.
No. Like on the website,
You're hiding it.
There's no kind of hiding it, but it's also very obvious. It
Easter
just
egg.
says click here for Easter egg. If it's like fairly obvious, if you just like look at the first page, just a little bit longer.
I went immediately to how it works. Once I saw NFT, I was like, how it works. Let's go straight to there. What are we doing here?
Cool. That's
Yeah.
great. Yeah. Exactly. That's. You did it. You did it properly.
Yeah.
That's
Okay,
exactly.
well, thank you. And you laid out how it works perfectly.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly how it works. I just saw so many like people buying crystals online that I was like, no, like people are buying $40 for a crystal in this thing, and like crystals, astrology and stuff. It's like something easy that you can make fun of for sure, but like not to disrespect them completely. It's like it's a thing that people want to believe in, right?
It's a business.
It's a business. It's something that's making someone feel better about themselves. It's its own language, right? Like people really do assess other people based on like star signs or like whatever.
Do they?
Yeah, dude. It's really weird. When you get into conversation, like what sign are you? It's like you'll be having the best conversation ever, and then you'll be like, "Oh, what sign are you?" And you'll say your sign, and you'll be like, "Oh, it's so weird that we're getting along."
And I think we talked to two very different types of people.
I was working at a smoke shop, so there's a lot of people that were coming.
Yeah, that's a crystal. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. You look like you work for IBM.
Well, I work for the Stones.
You do? Yeah, you work for the Stones. We're not talking Rolling Stones
it's been
here,
fun,
folks.
like sort of dressing like a fucking CEO, and then like revealing what the project is, and people either laugh immediately or like, "Oh, okay, that's nice."
Oh, so what? Okay, so we've broken down what. Well, we broke down pre-pod.
Yeah.
What this is.
Yeah.
You have Pet Rock on the blockchain.
Yes. So here's the difference, right? With Pet Rock, you have to take care of it, right?
Of course.
With this takes care of you.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's a good sales pitch.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Because I noticed you're like, you hold on to it, it heals you, it heals. I'm thinking you're going down like this, what's it called? The meditation app?
Yeah. It's sort of, it's pretty much that.
Mindful.
Yeah. Mindfulness. Yeah. That's kind of ultimately like after the punchline of it's just a rock. It's kind of like, well, what are the steps, right? You see the steps and you experience it. And you're like, oh, this is kind of just like a mindful, like sort of mindfulness kind of exercise.
Yes.
Right? Because like the steps are like, like consider what you're grateful for now. And then, you kind of visualize what you'd like out of your life. And like, but there's a little tongue-in-cheek kind of element to it because we're saying that it's like 300 times stronger than crystals.
I read that part, yeah. Yeah, you said it's 300 times the strength of a crystal. Then my thought was, well, how strong is a crystal? And how do you quantify the strength of a crystal? Like pounds? Like bench press? Like what is the strength?
Yeah.
Like a diamond? Is a diamond a crystal, or is a crystal a diamond?
Ooh, I never looked into that because I'm more focused on these stones.
Of course, call us in. Are you like because like the project with you makes sense to me.
Yes.
Are you a hippie guy? I always assumed you were.
I love philosophy and I love like thinking about life and human beings and like what we do here, what we've been doing here. Like, so I think about that a lot. And then it kind of like verges into spirituality sometimes because there is this sort of like epic, like when things unfold in your life, you're like, for better or worse, it's just like, it's so crazy that like just the smallest thing is like what created kind of all of this, because I was late to this one thing. It led to me running into like a friend that I haven't seen, like this.
That's true. When I saw you on the subway.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I was running late, and it's like so.
Oh,
stuff
were you?
like that. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
to see that.
And like so, stuff like that happens, and it's like there is something like cosmically interesting about life. And like when I get into conversations with my friends and stuff, I do preface it with like, this might be a little hippy dippy, but I like just sort of like expanding on a philosophy that I'm like kind of developing about life.
But if they're friends with you, isn't that redundant for you to be like, this is a bit hippy dippy? I'd be like, yeah, Adam, I know, just say it.
Yeah,
just throw it at me. I know your spiel.
No, it's
Hit
like
me.
it's also a check for me.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
check for me to also
You
say that,
realize
like, I
it's-
know that this is going to sound a little crazy, but like let's have fun with this concept for a little bit,
Okay.
if you want to, and then like I expand on the subject matter, and then if that entices more conversation, then that's the
You're
job.
doing a lot of intellectual consent.
Yeah.
I have an idea if it's okay with you. I don't want to press it on you. I'm going to take my belt off. Like, what? What are you talking about?
That's really funny because when I'm talking to people who aren't my friends, like that becomes a kind of like I'm wearing them down by constantly asking consent. Like, no, I'm fine. Yeah, just talk. You know.
You have a very frat bro approach to philosophy.
Yeah. To some degree, now that you mention it, I guess I do.
Are you? I'm trying to get because I know nothing about your background.
Yeah.
I know you. I know Adam Christopher. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I think are you like you come off like a Wesleyan kid? Are you like-
Wesleyan. Oh, that's interesting. What is that?
oh, it's like a NESCAC school, like a Middlebury,
Oh, okay. I
a
don't know what
Wesleyan, a
Middlebury is.
Williams.
Oh, okay, so it's like a university or like a college or
Yeah, you come off like a very intellectual person.
Yeah, I
that's
dropped
very
out of high
silly.
school.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
I
don't
read a
come
lot of
off
books.
like that.
I read a lot of books.
Read a lot of books. You're designing rocks on chain. Wait, are you from Florida?
No.
Mia's from Florida.
Yes. No. She's also from New York. We have an interesting similarity in our lives because I have lived in Florida for like a couple years. My family situation is all like messed up.
Okay.
But I lived here and born here. Like similar to Mia, she did live in Florida for a little bit, but she is from here.
But
and we're both from Upper West Side, which is pretty crazy.
I didn't know. Well, what's also Mia Faith Hammond? We're
Yeah, Mia
talking
Faith
about
Hammond,
him.
yes.
Extremely talented
She's so
comedian.
goddamn funny. Oh, she's so goddamn funny.
And also daughter of Daryl Hammond,
Yeah.
which he does not talk about.
No.
No. Yeah.
He tries. They both don't
Does he?
talk about it. No. There would be like every once in a while she'd get like a text.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I
And,
thought
like,
he just,
like he's
like-
trying to like reconnect, but he's a bit of a wildcat. that
Well,
guy.
then he starts drinking.
Yeah. I've heard the stories. I'm like, oh my god, that's.
I mean, you must have heard
Definitely keep your
the
distance.
real stories. Because, like, we've all heard the stories.
Yeah.
But that, Mia's got front row tickets
Yeah.
to the shit show. Wait.
Well, no, from what she said, she never really directly got any of the crazy stuff that we've heard. Like,
Oh, interesting.
she was like very well kind of like kept away from that, but it was like her mom kind of like experienced a lot of that crazy
well,
stuff.
yeah, I would.
And yeah.
I would assume so.
Yeah. So good parenting on that end, like in terms of like keeping her away from that kind of drama.
Which is not very Florida.
No.
Usually you lean into the drama. If you're Florida.
Yeah.
She leaned away. I'm also assuming you're together still.
Yeah.
Okay. I probably should have
Dude, it's
gone
going
down this
on 3
rabbit hole.
years.
Sick, dude.
Yeah.
Congrats.
I'm very excited.
It's a power couple.
It is. Yeah.
Of creativity.
So I've heard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of creativity.
Of creativity.
Yeah.
I don't know how much. I don't think I would trust you guys to move me into a place, but to come up with like a.
It will be fun.
It would. Oh my god,
If
it'd be
we
a
showed
great
you
time.
house, it would be the most.
I'd
fun.
still have to hire more people, but God, would it be a good time with you two?
Exactly.
Wait, you're from the Upper West Side.
Mm-hmm.
Am I getting all? I'm good. Okay, I'm very nervous about the production of all this.
Oh, understandable. There's so many moving parts to any sort of project or something. That's what I'm realizing with this. Man, with this project, it's like, the joke of it just being like a rock. It's like it's funny, but then like in terms of producing this, like the prototypes we went through, like the time put into this, dude. We worked for like me and my team. Worked for like a month straight just to like make it in time to have it be like ready that we can like start talking about it now.
You said prototype.
Yeah.
Okay, it's very much an animated stone, correct?
Huh? No, it's just a stone. You should open it.
Well, it says on the site, don't open it.
No, you should open that. And then within that, you'll see like more, and then like the main part you shouldn't open.
Wait, so there's a
this is
box.
Just like this is like what you would get in the mail.
Basically. Okay. Do you think this will cut it?
Yeah, I think so.
Is it already open? It might already be. Do you have a knife on you?
No.
Was that what you were about to take out?
It's in my. I was
going to say that's very Florida. I'm trying to.
Yeah, I do have a knife at home. It's quite nice here.
Yeah, that would be. There we go. This is podcasting. I'm learning that the audio is probably the least important part of podcasting. Okay. Okay, we got the box.
The audio is the least important part.
Elliot Thompson racks up views on this podcast, and he can barely talk.
He's so funny. He's great.
Oh, he's amazing. And he gets like 100, 150 views on each episode.
Oh, that's great.
I have no idea why. Okay. So, I've been deceived.
Uh-huh. That's the souvenir sticker.
That's the souvenir sticker?
Yeah.
Okay. That's going to go on my laptop.
Uh-huh. Oh, great.
Okay, so this is the rock.
Yes, that part you don't open.
I can't open this.
You can open the plastic and like experience the packaging and stuff, but that's the whole thing. It's like, yeah. When you open it, you'll.
Okay, some user feedback.
Yeah, exactly.
Just let me know what to open.
Yeah.
Okay, because right now you tell me not to open anything. I wasn't going to open that case. I also like that you have the hay in here, like an original Pet Rock.
Yes.
What are you in charge of? Did you come up with the hay?
No, I didn't make the hay.
You didn't make the hay.
I bought the hay.
You purchased the hay.
But like
you came up with the idea of hay.
Yeah.
Genius. Okay. I took the plastic off. What can I take?
So you can take off the rubber band.
I can take off the rubber band.
And then that has the instructions.
We're gonna put the mic there. Okay. So this is the instructions. Here's a rock. My Deception Stone.
Yes.
Great name also.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
It's just a very funny, alluring. It sounds like it could be in like Harry Potter or something.
It does sound like it would be in Harry Potter. The Deception Stone.
Like, what is that? Right? So I think like in that quest to find out what is that, it could either be more interesting or it could be like, oh, fuck you. It's just a rock.
Yeah. But you have to be in. Like if you're going to the Deception Stone, you have to be into jokes like this.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you for supporting this project. We at the Deception Stone HQ are thrilled you have chosen to deceive yourself towards a better life. Your adventure has just begun. Okay. So here are the instructions.
Yeah, those are the instructions that are on the site.
Hold my stone, but you can't take it out of the packaging.
If you want to, though.
It loses all its value.
Exactly.
I can't do
the whole
that.
game, but then the whole thing is, too, like with the window, like you can see...
I can see it.
You can see that there's stuff in there. The whole kind of experience...
I can confirm it's the whole rock.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the whole thing is like it wants you to open it, kind of, because you want to see. Because also within that there is a special fortune, and it's written by one of the people in the team.
Right. The ancient information in each stone gives its natural powers that are 300 times stronger than healing crystals.
It's a fun fact,
but only if you want to believe.
Yeah.
Wait, is this a real NFT? Is there an NFT to this?
Well, no. Here's the joke part of the NFT aspect. Because every rock itself is unique, there's no other rock.
It's a NFS. It's a non-fungible stone.
Exactly.
I like it.
Mm-hmm. And then
can I scratch?
If you want to.
I'm nervous. I feel like a curse is going to be put on me. So it says scratch for yes, and you're not going to believe it. It says yes.
Yeah. That's the whole thing. It's like, that's sort of like, we're so honest about it that you'd swear we're like deceiving you in some way, but everything is just so plainly like right there.
It couldn't be more transparent.
Yeah.
Just like an NFT. It's on the blockchain. It's very transparent. This rock could not be more transparent.
Exactly.
That's fun.
Yeah. It is fun. Yo, thank you
very much. Great idea, man.
Yo, thank you.
That's fun.
And thanks for like opening it and experiencing it.
Thanks for bringing it. I've been deceived.
Yeah. I think it's just fun. And I think the sort of the commentary on it, it's kind of, it's the kind of joking about like just consumerism and capitalism and crystal culture. But at the same time, I think overall it's just fun. It's just fun. Because I didn't want it to be, we didn't want it to be like insulting in any way, or like kind of, we wanted to kind of just like nudge certain people that like,
right.
Oh yeah, no, you believe in crystals, this is the competitor. Like,
so you're the like creative guy. I'm trying to think, who are the guys in the project? Is there
I
a
can go
stone
through
guy?
No. Well, so we just basically go to different construction sites and get gravel.
Genius.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. But like, so you're in charge of all creative aspects of the deception.
I came up with the idea, and then in terms of execution, that was all like sort of like, for example, one of the people on the team. I don't know if you met him yet. Really funny guy, Nico Catania. He like helped develop the packaging for it.
Okay.
He was like, he suggested like this sort of box, and then I saw this box and I was like, oh, I like this because you get to interact with it. I like anything that like teases you to want to open it.
Yeah.
Because you kind of you want to know what the fortune is. It's really interesting to think too that like this has a joke in here that's written by a comedian.
There's more things inside. Is there? That's for you to find out.
Exactly.
If you want to open it.
Exactly.
And by Nico was the one that come up with the box.
Yeah.
Because that's a very like Eastern European name. Is he like? Does he know cardboard people?
No. We just went through a list of like different boxes from different like wholesalers and stuff, and then we settled on this box. It was one of his like sort of within the nominees of like boxes.
Okay, yeah.
And I was like, oh, I like this one because you can touch the stone, and I think that tactile experience.
It gives it a real effect.
It makes, and then the fact that you can kind of, you can see that there's a little piece of paper in there. There's like, you can kind of feel the little bag that comes with the pouch that comes with it.
Yeah, you're really trying to make people open it up.
Yeah. Which then like that sort of that experience, that human experience of like, what is that feeling? That
right.
Like it's in relation to like curiosity in general, right? It's like we want to know what's in there. But like, but we also want to maintain its like its value. So it's like this sort of you're stuck at this a rock and a hard place, so to speak.
That's a nice pun. Have you connected with Jeff Greenspan about this?
No, I was going to. I was actually going to. Yeah. I would love to.
I would assume you have an in with me.
Yeah.
As we know, Jeff Greenspan mentioned many times he did an episode Gay Jeff for the fans.
Gay Jeff.
That's what he is. He's gay and his name's Jeff.
Dude, what a genius that guy is. He's always so busy.
He is the most manic depressive genius to ever exist.
Yeah, for sure.
He is, God, is he smart, and God, is he depressed. He is both of those things.
In full force, too.
Have you gone down to Chattanooga?
Yeah, so much fun. I don't think Chattanooga likes me too much.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why?
No, I had a couple good sets, but then I had like, the other half were like people just like, what is this guy? what is going on with this guy?
Well, yeah, they're used to people going up there, set up punch.
Yeah, no,
you're not doing set up punch.
No, not so
You're
much.
You're if Matt Hardy had energy.
Dude, Matt Hardy, man, it's so crazy because I met Matt Hardy kind of when I was starting, and we bonded, and he made me laugh, I made him laugh. And then like after the pandemic, I saw him again, like, yo, what he was doing, and then in relation to also what I was doing, I was doing like when I got back to doing stand-up after the pandemic, I was doing like just anything. Like not too crazy, but I was hosting open mics within the open mic during my time.
And I love that.
Yeah.
That's the funniest thing to me.
And there was, I think, 2 people out of like maybe the 10 times that I did it that people actually was like, all right, because like the whole gimmick is like, I'll give you 1 minute at a time and I'll light you at 30 seconds. So like basically when they got on stage, I like give them the light and I'm standing right by them, and I'm usually taller than the performer, so it's this like huge person right next to you, like making you more nervous because they're flashing a light at you.
And if you have a few of your friends there, they're gonna go along with it. So if someone goes up after you, they're gonna be like, all right, I got a minute. All right, Adam, light me at 30, and you'll just be there like, I got you.
It was the funniest thing. One time I did this, and the host left for whatever reason, and she came back right at the time she gave me the light, and I was giving the comedian the light.
It was a whiteception. You need that at a mic. We've gone into mics before on this pod, how depressing they are.
Oh, man.
You need someone like Adam to liven it up.
Yeah. But that's the thing, man. It's like getting back into comedy, I was like realizing like, not that jokes aren't important, but like you're there to be funny. Whatever that like translates to, right? For some people, they want to show off their cleverness and like in writing and stuff. And like, I just found it more fun to just kind of like get on stage and be like, all right, here we go. Or there's like a few things I wanted to say and then just kind of figure it out on stage. And then like, within that exploration, everyone's kind of like with you for the most part. That like it becomes like interesting and like fun.
Well, that is cleverness, right? Well, you do. It's a different type of cleverness.
Yeah. Good point. It's
right.
It's just a different type of cleverness.
That's all it is.
I never mean to say that like what style I'm doing is better than any other style, because that's the beauty of comedies. Like, there's so many different ways to express something is funny.
Right. Like the people in Chattanooga hate you. I love you. You see it right there.
Which is, you know what's funny? For years, I've freaked out because the last time I saw you before the subway, you were in passing, and then we were like riffing and stuff. And then you said something, and we were all like, yeah, fuck yeah. And we all gave each other high fives. And I was like, fuck yeah, fuck yeah. And then I was like, fuck you. And I thought you would be into the joke, but you look actually upset.
I was upset because I was at a mic.
Yeah. So when that happened for years now, like, that's why I'm bringing this up now. Because like for years, I like freaked out that like, oh no, I thought he was with the joke. I didn't mean to say actual like fuck you. Just within the sort of fuck yes, fuck you. Like, I thought that was just
no. If I'm talking to Adam Christopher, I know what I'm getting myself into. Yeah. If it was Tom Luciano, I'd think another thing. But no, you're Adam Christopher. Yeah. No, I hated that. I've completely stopped communicating with the comedy scene. I only talk to people I respect.
Yo. Dude, I'm like operating on that. Like, I naturally kind of like fell into that and like realized that that's what I've been doing, and now I just kind of like just go with the people that I respect.
That's it.
Yeah, and it's so much more enjoyable. Like, comedy as an experience is so much more enjoyable. It seems more part of my life rather than this like chore, obligation, stress factory sort of like.
Like I had to hit 3-4 sets a night, and I had now.
Yeah. Once I let go of that, it's been.
I'd rather have you on my podcast. We sit down for an hour. I talk to a guy who I don't know much about him, but I know he's fucking a genius. I'd rather unwrap that. Than sit at a mic for 4 hours.
I appreciate it.
Where I see you for 5 minutes, get on and off. I don't even get to see. I don't even get to learn about. That's the bad part about people like you and Hardy, where it's like I don't even get to know who you are.
Ed Hardy.
Because how you perform.
Hardy, oh my God, Matt Hardy. Like that stuff that he's doing on stage is so funny.
He just did my show Friday.
Oh, how was it?
My girlfriend's a gigantic fan of Matt Hardy.
Understandable.
And if you know Matt, if you listen to this podcast, you know Matt Hardy.
Yes.
You know he's a nocturnal lawyer. You know he's in $500,000 of debt. You know. You know he doesn't own furniture. You know this about Matt Hardy.
Yes.
So she thought he was going to go up there and do bits about all that. And if you've seen Matt Hardy perform on stage, he's doing a full split on the stage. My girlfriend, like, across the room is looking at me. I'm looking at her. I'm like, huh? This is art. And she's like, what the fuck is this?
He's destroying the show.
I was like, no one got it.
Yeah.
Besides like 2 people in the audience out of like 30 people that are like, this guy, huh?
But like when you're doing something like that, if you at least have like a couple people that are just dying, you're doing it right.
Oh yes, that's how you know you're performing. Yeah. Unfortunately, you only have 10 minutes, and you probably need 20 to get them. So yeah, you're done. But yeah.
You would need 20 minutes to get him.
Wait, so you dropped out of high school? We kind of just flew right over that.
Yeah. So my whole upbringing has been like just fucking rickety rockety, right? And
Deception Stone.
Yeah. Which is it's so funny that this is such a expression. It's like a culmination of all the things that I am into this one, expressed in a physical form.
Right.
Yeah. So like I moved a bunch. And went to like almost a new school every year for every grade. And so I never had like a core friendship group. So that, I mean, in terms of also like before I was tall too, it's like to constantly get bullied, you develop a sense of humor. Because it's like if you can make them laugh, then they're like, I don't want to hurt you so much anymore. Like,
right.
So that was developing as that. And I was always like a quirky kid. I never was popular, but I got along with I was like one of those that just got along with all the groups. And I would just kind of make people laugh.
You're the exact opposite of homeschooled.
Yeah. I'm life schooled.
Yeah, I'm schooled. I've been to fucking schools.
And then when I was in 10th grade, a friend of mine was like, you can drop out when you're in 10th grade? And it was like the end of 10th grade. I was like, really? And then I was like, all right, let me try out 11th grade. So I gave it 2 weeks.
You tried out 11. Wait,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
is this happening? Where one of your friends goes, you know you could drop out of 10th grade, and you're
It was
like,
in,
who the fuck is this kid?
This kid and I, we would always like skip school. And we would always like go to like a hot dog place, and then like Grace Papaya on the Upper West Side.
So you're in New York doing
Yeah,
this?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So I would always skip school and like either go to the movies, chill at like a hotel lobby, or like go to like a restaurant.
Hold on. I have to reposition myself. What you're telling me is insane. You would either hang out at three places. The movies,
Mm-hmm.
Grace Papaya hot dog stand, and here's the third one that's throwing me off.
Yeah.
A hotel lobby.
Yeah. At that time, if you just looked okay, you could just chill at a lobby, and New York has a lot of lobbies.
It's a ton of them.
Yeah, and I was in Manhattan, so like, and there's a lot of like 5-star hotels with really big lobbies. So I would just cozy up. I'd just be like, yeah. And then the thing is, so the high school that I went to, it was like around the starting point of that high school. So it was in a community college. It was in the building of LaGuardia Community College in Long Island City. It was I went to Frank Sinatra School of Performing Arts.
Okay.
Now it's like there's this actual campus.
Of course, I know Frank Sinatra.
Yeah. I think it's in Astoria.
Astoria, Long Island City,
Yeah.
whatever people call it.
So
now.
we were in the college building. So because we didn't have our own like ID thing, they gave us like college IDs. Like the template was the college ID.
Right.
So because of my height and my look, it looked like I could be in college.
Okay.
So when Truancy ever did spot me and like question me and I showed them my ID, they're like, "Oh, you're fine." And so I would just get away with not going to school.
That's insane.
Oh, it's so insane. It's so insane, but it was so much fun.
But also, let's get something else straight. You went to a performing arts school.
Yes.
Did you ever go to school?
They tried to pretend like it was a school.
Right. Is there math?
Yeah, there is.
There is?
There is.
Instead of like 1, 2, 3, 4.
But
1,
you
2, 3,
usually
4.
answer by breaking out into song.
Yeah, people think Grease is...
I saw the equation. And then everyone's like, what is it? And then, we all start singing.
Yeah. Everything's more of a musical than a class.
Yes.
No, Tony Bennett started that, right?
Yeah, dude, it was so trippy. Tony Bennett would come into our band, like during band class, and just be like, hey, just keep on swinging, kids. And he would be full on mafia suit, just like with the red sort of carnation flower. It's just like, just keep on swinging. Like 2 like bodyguards would be walking with him.
Well, can Tony Bennett walk?
At that time he could.
Oh, at that time he could. Okay.
And spicy news, this was the hot goss. He was actually dating our social studies teacher.
Oh.
Miss
I thought you were
Crow.
going to say he's been dead for 10 years.
He was dating the social studies teacher.
Young?
Because we all, yeah. She was like maybe 40 at most.
Yo,
Yeah.
Tony Bennett? Not bad.
She was a hard ass, but she was one of the best teachers. It was so crazy. She was the only teacher that gave like a grace period for like, okay, you don't have to bring your homework today, but you have to bring it in tomorrow. And because I would always skip school, I would I would always do well in that class, but I would always give my homework the next day.
Okay. When you went to school.
Yeah, when I went to school.
I'll be honest. I didn't know they had social studies at Frank Sinatra School of Performing Arts.
They did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah. Not bad at all.
Also, Tony Bennett still alive.
We all found out because we were watching the Grammys one time, and in the front row where he was sitting, we're like, is that Miss Crow?
Hey, yo, Tony Bennett.
Yeah. And then it became just like sort of like the whispers in school for like a week was like, I'm pretty sure they're together. Yeah.
But so how much time did you spend in Florida then?
From like 3rd grade till like 8th grade. No, till like right before high school. But I would always come back to New York. I would only be in Florida for school and then come back to New York.
Oh, you did the reverse of us.
Yeah.
Of what most people do.
Yeah. Yeah. Much like how I do comedy, I do
That's
pretty
also
much the
true.
reverse
That's
of
how
what
you
most
approached education as well. Wait, that blows.
So yeah, 11th grade, gave it 2 weeks, and I stood up in the middle of class, and I was like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. I just stood up and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And she was like, the teacher was like, sit down, you're interrupting the class. And I was like, oh no, I don't think you understand. Like, I don't want to do like any of this anymore. She's like, I'm going to send you to the principal's office. I'm like, yeah, that's who I want to see. She's like, okay, well then go to like, as if she's still punishing me, like, or then go to the principal's office. I was like, perfect, thank you. And then I just,
I thought she was going to be like, you see Adam? He fucking gets it.
I wish you
all of you had to get to that. And then you just start.
Yeah. And then right before that, she like, before I left the room, she's like, so what are you going to do if you're not going to be in school anymore? And I was like, I think I'm going to move to Africa. And I thought this was hilarious. I think I'm going to move to Africa and become a tribal leader. And then I just I left the room.
I'm going to put rocks in things.
Yeah.
But they're like, how?
Put a rock in a box and then make billions.
You fucking idiot.
Yeah. So it was yeah, and then that was the last time I went to school.
And then
I started making
how
music.
How long? Okay, so you started making. So you're a musician.
Yeah, I started making music. Well, I got into like making electronic music. I grew up like playing the drums. That's why I was like in band. So I was playing drums, and I started getting into like electronic music, like drum and bass and stuff. And I was like, this is so fascinating. Like, how can anyone play drums this fast? And then I realized like it's programming. It's like, and I was like, oh, it's computers? That's crazy. So like I got a computer. I had a computer, and then I just started playing around.
You just downloaded Fruity Loops and you got a Beats machine, and you're like.
I just started like playing around, and then I made a few beats, and then I eventually like made an album, and then I started getting some traction off of that, and then yeah, I did some damage.
We can't just fly over your fucking pseudo DJ career. What the fuck does that? You dropped out of high school to be a DJ, and you got traction?
Well, not a DJ, a producer.
Oh, you're a producer.
I then DJ'd because I was producing these beats and stuff. So like that's how I would perform the music, was to DJ. But I was mostly a producer.
Okay, you're making this sound like this is the normal course of a DJ. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
It's not. To my also understanding of what a DJ is. Did you like produce for rappers? And then
No. I mostly did like sort of like hip hop beats, and then like house music. I got into like house music. When I was a kid, I listened to a lot of Daft Punk, and I loved Daft Punk.
Okay.
And I really got into that, and like from there, that was like one of the inspirations. And I loved disco already. I was like listening to disco when I was a kid, so I was like, oh, I can sort of like do that with this. This is so fun. And then I also, during that time, I got wrapped up in the sort of like, yeah, I produce music. So that was like the kind of tone that I was operating on.
Yeah, you were a real dick.
Yeah, I was a real dick. I was a real dick.
You're like a kid that went to a performing arts high school.
Yeah. That was such an ego boost to be able to like be at a party and be like, oh yeah, I produce music, and I'm like, oh what?
I mean, that's why we do comedy, right? It's the same exact
but luckily,
reason.
Now I've like moved past that like need, right? So like now I'm just like internally, I'm like, yeah, I'm a comedian. And, like, you know, just I don't really.
You're like that meme where it's you're in the corner, you're like, no one here knows I'm a comedian. And they're like, Adam, we're also comedians. We're all friends with you.
Mic right now.
You're giving me the light, and it's your time.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm a genius. No. Yeah. So I did music for about like 10 years or so.
What are you talking about? Yeah. You did music for 10 years and you never bring it up?
No.
That's so fucking... You know Neil Rubenstein?
No.
Oh, you don't? I'm shocked because me and him are very good friends.
Oh, I feel like I've met him before.
Big tattooed from like the chin down, like 6'2", 6'3", 300 pounds, 350. I'm sure if you saw him, you would know.
Yeah.
He co-wrote Taking Back Sunday's first album.
That's crazy.
And he managed them. I think he managed My Chemical Romance for a Cup of Coffee.
That's wild.
The Used, Yellow Card. He was like...
Yellow Card?
Yeah, I shouldn't put Yellow Card in the category of those three. But, like, you have this amazing story.
Yeah.
That we've only talked about for 10 minutes.
Oh, man, yeah.
And why don't you talk about this?
Well, because eventually when I get the book going, it's going to be...
You're writing a book.
Yeah, it's going to be a really good read. No, my life has been pretty fucking nuts. But, like, interesting nuts. Like, it's like I was definitely a tortured soul for a while, but then got out of, like, sort of playing the victim. Because, you know, when you experience a certain amount of trauma, like, the conditioning around you in the environment, it, like, kind of entices you to play the victim mindset.
Yes.
and that it has its its perks for sure, but ultimately it's like damaging inside. It just you keep holding on to the baggage.
Right.
So then you can't really you're not growing as a person. And once you start calling yourself out on the bullshit, and you have good people around you that start calling you out on your bullshit.
That's the big thing.
That's the big thing. I was so very lucky to have just the perfect amount of good people at the right times, where it could have turned to I just could have been a terrible person.
I feel like, because I feel like I'm in the same boat. You need people that also went through a certain type of trauma to look at you and be like, this is actually what's wrong. This is what...
This
is what you're right on. This is what you're wrong on. Shut up.
My sister, we're the only two that came close to experiencing similar situations. We're 5 years apart, but
okay.
More or less, she's the only other person that was witness to what we were experiencing, right? And also experienced it. So, and she's very intelligent. So, her ability to kind of check me. She was one of the integral people in my life that sort of nudged me in the right direction.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I found
also
it with comics.
Getting also having a job was interesting, because those were in jobs, when you fuck up, you do a small fuck up and you can easily be oh yeah, it was someone else, or that didn't happen, that wasn't me. You can easily in jobs you're in situations where you can kind of deny a fault.
Yes.
And in those moments, I took it as this is my chance to just boldly accept that I fucked up here.
Just grow.
It's
my time to grow.
Yeah. So because I fucking hate working jobs, right? So that's at least the benefit that I took from that was all right, let's work on yourself then. If you fucked up, admit that you fucked up, and just see how that goes. Instead of cowering all the time, because I'm so used to cowering, because I was just fucking abused pretty much all my life. So it's so that cowering feeling is such a reflex for me. And I feel like it's just a reflex in all of it. We don't want to feel like we're wrong, because then it puts into question everything we ever believed, and then we feel like we're wrong about everything. Then you overcompensate in the wrong direction again, and then
you grow over here when you really should have been growing over here. Yeah. So you got to cut it at the bud.
Yeah.
I was gonna say at the stone. At the bedrock.
The bedrock.
All right.
Like that. Yeah.
That's good, right?
Yeah.
All right, we're doing something.
That's good enough.
It's good enough. It works with this analogy.
Yeah.
So, okay. There's so many. I was going to ask you if you had milk with dinner growing up. Like a fucking asshole. You're so much more interesting than that. What jobs have you had?
Oh, well, my first job, I worked at a 24-hour gym in Rego Park, Queens.
That's very interesting. What was the name of it?
Oh, I don't remember. I think Platinum Gym. It was a very local. It's not a chain. It wasn't a chain.
No, I know. I might know the owner.
Really? Russian guy? I don't think I ever met the owner, but it was a gym. It's around off the 63rd Road stop on the.
Yeah, my parents will know.
Okay.
So
I was
write this
working
down,
out there
Mom and
because
Dad.
I fell into the trick of everyone needs to work out. You need to work out to feel better about yourself, and
I have a master's in exercise science because
Really?
of that exact idea. And let me tell you, boy, did that not pan out. What a load of horseshit that is.
Yeah. So I was working out there, and this guy, when trainers come by and they'll give you a spot session, and you're if you want, you can just start taking classes with me, and so he was doing that, and then but he offered me a job, and I was oh yeah, I'll take it. Yeah. And I was getting paid $7 an hour, and I worked from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m.
Where did you live?
A few blocks away from there.
Oh, okay. So you grew up in the Rego Park area by the mall
over
there?
So at that time, I was with my first girlfriend, and
okay,
I was living with her.
Gotcha.
In that area. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so that was the first job that I took.
Makes sense.
I was just replacing weights. I was watching people in that would like to work out late at night, wearing those black
the spaghetti.
The
sweatsuits.
The sweatsuits.
Yes.
Yeah, the sweatsuits. So I would just watch people in their sweatsuits, 3 or 4 eccentric people working out, and I would just replace the weights all night and make shakes if they needed something.
So this is a professional bodybuilding gym. Everyone in there is an IFBB pro.
No. It was just locals.
Just people with too much time on their hands.
Rego Park locals, yeah.
Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, when you see people in sweatsuits, it's guy, what are we? Unless you're a high school wrestler.
Yes,
There's
makes
really
sense.
no point
That makes
here.
sense. And you're trying to like cut the weight or like
Right.
build a sort of tone or something like
Right.
that makes sense. But if you're like 65 and you're out of breath and a little portly, please don't do that to yourself.
Please stop doing. That's
enjoy
not
your
the
life.
answer.
Enjoy your life.
Just drink less.
You just drink less.
Yeah, Jesus, that's so much easier.
Or drink more water. One of those.
Switch your liquids. We could all agree the liquid should be switched.
Yeah. So I worked there. Then after that, I worked at the nearby CVS. And then my father runs a company. He's like.
Okay, you have a father.
Yes, I have a father.
And a mother, I would assume.
Yes. They're both batshit crazy. But
It happens.
It happens, but it's interesting. It adds to the interesting aspect to one's life,
Right?
Like
yeah.
whoever their parents are, and then the heat of embarrassment when you start spotting like how much you're like either of them. You're like, oh god, my mom or dad does this, and I just did it too, and this is ouch.
Got it
like,
deprogrammed and reprogrammed.
Yeah.
Yep.
But so like that was the like after those jobs, I kind of just like worked with him for a bit as a sort of like just deliver like he's a ticket broker, like a sort of private concierge for hotels. So hotels would be like, we have a client that wants to see a Broadway show, can you get these tickets? And he's like, yeah. And then so like,
that's interesting.
yeah.
That's a very interesting job. Is he working with? I'm pointing here like you fucking know. In the Seaport and in Times Square, they got the tickets booth for like matinee tickets.
Like,
is that him?
It's a very niche. More because like he works with like hotels that are like the Plaza and shit like that. Ooh. Like really like high end like people.
I work
like,
there.
Like one of his clients would be like the people that started Google. Like one of the persons that's not on the board but like
I got
co-created Google type people. Like they're like, hey, we're flying in on our private jet. Can we see Bruce Springsteen? He's like, yeah, sure. It'll be like $1,000, but like yeah, we can get you in kind of thing. I mean, I
understand what you're saying.
I'm shorthanding it, but
I know there's a person for this. How do you get into that?
Yo, so he was working as a concierge at a hotel.
That makes sense.
So this is so crazy. So as he was working at the concierge, he gets the idea to like, with the clients that like he collected over time, be like, hey, I can do this on my own. So while he was working as a concierge, he started his own company within that. So he was making more money on his like own thing, but still getting paid by the hotel. And we got the benefit. I don't know if it's so much of a benefit, but it was quite the experience of like being able to live in hotels for like. That's how I knew the hotel lobby thing of like, oh, I could just be in a lobby. You'd be like, oh, I'm waiting for someone, or like I'm friends with a guest here, and like you're like, oh, okay.
You grew up in hotels?
Kinda, yeah. Like for like a sort of I think 5-year period, we would like live in hotels for like a few months or like a month at a time or something like. Yeah.
Like the Sweet Life of Zach and Cody.
Yeah, kind of like that. yeah.
Except a while. Hold on. How does that work with schools? This makes sense now. Because, well, no. Does it? Because you're in the city during this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
But, correct, I grew up, on Long Island, so it's a little different to the public schools. Here, you have to, like, apply to public schools.
Yeah.
So,
I know I had to audition for, like...
right. But for, like, middle school and elementary school, I guess that makes sense why you went to Florida, because it's a public school. You could just go there.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have to keep...
Yeah.
This is all connecting. Where in Florida did you live?
Tampa.
Oh.
Yeah.
Not when Tampa was what it is today.
Yeah.
Now it's a hot spot.
Before it was still like in the state of like a swamp. It was kind of like a swamp.
Right.
Yeah.
It was back when the Devil Rays were the Devil Rays, not the Rays, right?
Yep.
Back then.
Mm-hmm.
I remember those days.
Oh, I went to middle school with... Is Boggs a player? Boggs is a Ray. Like
Wade Boggs?
Yeah, Wade Boggs. I went to school with his son.
You went to school with Wade Boggs' son?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
You know what the story with Wade Boggs is, right?
No, I don't.
He claims to have... He had 100 beers on a flight. He was playing for the Phillies, and they flew out to L.A., and he claimed to have 100 beers on the flight.
Well, his son certainly acted like it.
Oh yeah, he was violent.
No, he was fine. He was like we would talk every once in a while. We're not really friends, but we got along.
You got along.
Yeah.
You had to get along with the crazies.
Mm-hmm.
Very important to do that. I didn't know. Yeah, I mean Wade Boggs, like being the manager of the Rays, makes sense. So you're living in and out of hotels. Okay, so you're working for your dad with the tickets.
Mm-hmm.
To me, and I don't know anything about the industry, that seems like a pretty cushy gig.
It's kind of cushy, yeah. It could be stressful too, though.
I could imagine.
Because all right, so like what the genius of like what he did, right, was like he spent like years befriending like people in Broadway, and
Makes
so
sense.
that is like what gave him access to get like very exclusive seats. And
Okay.
so from there is what he was able to like kind of be the root of his business was like the network that he created and the relationships. He's really good at
networking.
yeah, but like in a very organic way. It's not like cheesy. Like I definitely the good thing that I took from him was like the examples of how he would interact with people and like the effect that it would have on him or on them. And like just seeing that, I'm like, oh, that's what good business looks like. It's really like how well you are, the feeling that you give to people, right? It's like that's kind of like the core of like a good business. If you can make someone feel good or like special or like just a friend, you know, like that, I think. And they're really his friends too. So it's not like he was just like milking them.
Yeah, it's not a bullshit relationship.
Yeah. Dude, he puts in so much effort to like make sure they feel that they're not getting like played or like.
Well, I guess they sell. I would imagine they sell their tickets, maybe not wholesale, but as close to it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, I might as well give this to the guy I like, and I know he's
doing
doing this with the best.
Mm-hmm. And then also
intentions.
seeing like this old world like sort of style of like New York sort of bribery going on, because then it would also be like, hey, I'll sweeten the pot if you can do this, and it's like, all right, cool, I'll take that pot. You know?
Right.
And then like, so just seeing that exchange, that inner working of exchange, and like, he would be the person that goes into a restaurant without a reservation and be like, hey, I'm looking for something like over there. And then like, it's good to meet you, and just slip you $100 bill kind of thing. So seeing those, it's like we're past those days now, which is really interesting because everything's a credit, and also like that's just awkward now if you just gave someone hundreds. Like
Right. Also, you did it at Friendly's, you know.
Dude, we got the best seat in the house at TGIF. TGIF.
The TGIF in Times Square. My dad knows everyone.
We get green beans on the house.
Yeah, listen, that's nothing to shake up.
Experiencing that, the sort of like just that the bribe culture is very interesting to like witness that.
Right. That's so. I wonder how. I mean, you probably don't know because you're probably too young when it happened. But like once Ticketmaster came on the scene, your dad must have been like, "Fuck."
Right. No, but he worked with that too. He actually then befriended people in Ticketmaster.
That's how you do it.
Yeah.
That's how you do
The
it.
schemes that he comes up with to like get into places, it's just so good. And it is like all like a matter of how you conduct yourself. If you look a certain way, people will most likely accept that you are the image that you're portraying. Right? So like that in itself, there's a performance that goes into like anything that you want to get involved with.
Right.
Like, yeah.
Oh, so okay. So you're working with your dad with the tickets. Why do you leave the tickets?
Why did I leave?
Why'd you leave?
Oh no, I ended up like working with him for off and on for like several years.
Oh.
Even till today, I'll like help him out every once in a while if he needs like help. But he created such a great puzzle for him because like every day it's like a new sort of like condition of like, how do I get these tickets? Like, do I know anyone here? Like, how do I find if I can know anyone here? Like, can I befriend anyone? Is anyone like sort of like hungry for a little bit more and wants a little like
who knows who? What levers can I pull here? How do I talk to this person?
But it's within this context, it's the best place to express that, right? Because it's tickets. It's Broadway show tickets. You're not like fucking people's lives over.
No.
It's like one would get a better seat than the other. Oh, one of the coolest.
It's a game. It's truly a game.
One of the coolest business schemes that he came up with, like for example, with Bruce Springsteen, like when he was in town doing like,
when he did the Broadway show.
Yeah. So he was able to get like front row seats. I don't know how he was able to do that. So this is what he did though. Like, so he would charge an insane amount of money, right?
I would imagine.
But for people that couldn't pay that much, he would offer like, all right, so I have front row tickets for this much, but I understand this is a pretty steep price. If you don't want to do that, I have this, which is all the way in the back for this much money. It's a lot more approachable. And like people would be like, yeah, I'll do that. But the trick was he only had the front row tickets. So if they were like, oh, we can only afford the $1,000 instead of the $10,000 seat or something.
Right.
He'd be like, okay, that's no problem. I'll get you those seats. And then he'll email them saying like, oh, actually, we just got a bump up. Like for absolutely free, we got you in the front row now. So it was like this like sort of trick of like you can either choose to pay.
Oh, he really got the ticket for like $500.
Yeah. But the whole scheme was he offered as if he had like worse seats for cheaper.
Right.
And he only had the front row seats. And so like it just made people feel special that like, oh man, what great service.
He went out of his way.
I got the cheaper seats, but I was able to sit front row. Like, so I thought that is a scheme in terms of like where like all business doesn't have to be this sort of like I'm just fucking taking money from you and like I'm robbing you. It's like he kind of created this like this condition of like, oh, I can only afford these. It's like, oh yeah, that's fine. We'll get you these seats, no problem. And then like you get a text later on saying like, hey, congratulations, we actually got you first row, no extra charge or anything.
Yeah.
Enjoy the show. So now they're like, we could have spent $10,000 on this, but we ended up spending like $1,000.
Gave him a euphoric feeling. You gave him an experience
so
before the experience.
The psychology of that move is just, it's brilliant. It just makes people feel even better.
Yep.
And I was like, once he said it to me like a year ago, I was like, that feeling that you would get of like, if you could only afford this, but you still get to see Bruce Springsteen, but then you get a notification saying like, oh, you're actually going to be in front row. It's like that
Sick.
feeling is, yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. That, I don't know. That to me is a very interesting line of work.
Oh, it's so interesting. Yeah. And from there, like I've got to see like SNL. He's friends with people like.
Oh, yeah, that's an easy ticket if he could get the rest.
Yeah. No, truly. And I got to fucking watch Will Ferrell when I was in high school, like in SNL. Like.
Wait, in SNL? How old are you?
I'm 36.
What?
Yeah.
What? You what?
Yeah, dude.
I had no idea. I thought you were like 24 or something.
Understandable.
Forever I've thought that. Before you dated me, everything.
Yeah.
Wait, you're 36?
Yeah, 36.
What the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, dude. 36.
Nothing aged you more. You're ageless until you just said, I saw Will Ferrell in SNL when I was in high school. I thought you remember when he was like George Bush. And even then I was like, oh, Adam's older than I thought he was.
Yeah. No. I got to see Will Ferrell perform at SNL. So I got to see Outkast perform like the dress rehearsal. Like,
yo, you're old. You might be older than 36. You saw Outkast
so
in the dress rehearsal.
The trick is you have to drink the lotion. They don't say that.
People aren't doing.
They're always putting it on the skin.
You gotta drink it.
chug.
God. I also know it's gonna kill my dad if I don't ask you this question. What is your ethnicity?
Oh yeah, so that's the thing I never say.
There you go.
Yeah.
So suck that. That's a text I don't have to answer now because I know that's the number one question my dad asks during the podcast.
Funny.
They watch every episode.
Talks about it. If you know, that's fine. But like, I just never, because I never wanted to make that, especially going into comedy. I never wanted to make that the root of like, especially seeing so many people. Like, I'm half German and I'm half like French. Like, I don't know. Like, there's a funny comedian. I love this guy, like Stuart Lee. I don't know if you know Stuart Lee, English comic.
The name sounds familiar.
He makes fun of like American comedy.
Okay.
By saying that sort of like joke. It's like, oh, do you want some American jokes? Yeah. I'm half French and I'm half like German. I don't know if I should marry a baguette or fuck my mother. Like, it's like those, like, there's so many of those jokes, especially starting out, that I was like, observing. I'm like, I don't want to fucking do that. I don't think that's interesting. It's the same joke over and over again.
It's always the same joke.
And I think me as a person is more interesting than like whatever the fuck my mix is or like whatever my ethnicity is. And then
Dad.
Sorry, I know for some people it's very important, but then at the same time, for me, I feel like that's kind of the root of whatever problems we have now is like caring too much about where we're coming from.
I just know I'm trying to get ahead of a text. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get ahead of a text.
It's like it's a mix of like my own personal sort of like feeling about just the idea of people making importance about race and this sort of like I don't think that part about me is so interesting. I think I can deliver something that's just beyond that, like more than just talking about the race or having that be like either a limitation or like an advantage over. It's like this weird dynamic is played out when you establish something like that, like within your comedy, and I don't want to play that fucking game.
At least at our level.
Yeah,
1,000%.
Exactly.
Just, I don't want to say.
But then that's something, later down the line, if I do open up about it, that's something that I could, expand on. So that's like, within that, I'll have more experience to be able to handle that topic in a way that I think is funny and sort of informative, rather than just selling myself short of like, I'm this. Now you know me. Now we're friends.
It's right. It's like now we're all in.
It's like no. If you like my comedy, you like my comedy. It shouldn't be because I'm a certain thing or I look fucking brown and that's trending right now. It's like no, fuck that. Like
it is trending right now.
It is trending.
You could really pop.
Yeah.
You can say whatever you. I don't know what your race is, but I can tell you this: you're castable.
I am castable.
You could be anything. Yeah. With that hair, especially, Jesus Christ, you could own the world.
Yeah.
If you wanted to, you could own the whole world.
Dude, this wig has taken me places.
It is a wig.
It is a wig.
Yeah, I'll tell you, the glue's working. Yeah. 36. Mm-hmm. God damn.
Yeah, 1986. That's my year.
And a hell of one. Wait, so you grew... Okay, how much time do we even have left? Oh, wow, we barely flew through this.
Oh, shit, wow. I mean, of course, you can edit whatever you think is the most...
I keep it all in.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, unless you tell me, like,
no. I think that's really exciting. Because there's something about just watching people talk and then not having it be, like, cut and stuff. Just watching a full-on conversation, that's like very...
This is all this is.
Yeah.
I hit record. People think, what should I prep? There's no prep.
No. I was going to ask you that, but I'm like, no. I just want to come in and hang out.
We got to... That's exactly what I'm trying to... I've played the TV before with people. That doesn't work, so I shut the TV off now.
Yes. But because we would definitely just keep looking back. Yeah, and then like I just came back like every summer to New York, and then that would be...
Yeah, you're like, I don't know. And then we start talking about the game that's a week old by the time I post this. Yeah. It doesn't even work out. So, okay. So you grew up, you're a Queens kid.
Upper West Side. But I lived in Queens because I was...
With the hotels?
My girlfriend.
Oh, with the girlfriend.
Yeah, with the girlfriend. That was like kind of before... I was living in the hotels before the girlfriend situation. So I was like mostly in the Upper West Side and then also all throughout Manhattan and whatever.
You only lived in hotels on the Upper West Side?
No, not in the Upper West Side. Like, throughout
Manhattan,
Midtown, sort of Midtown East, Midtown West, like.
So you're growing. I met a few other people that grew up in Midtown. What the fuck is that?
Oh, that's funky.
That's
right?
wild. That Upper West, like, I don't know, growing up in Long Island, I don't think it's that crazy to grow up in the city. Midtown, though, that's where I draw the line. Like, that's crazy. Yeah. You shouldn't go. No one should live in Midtown. Doesn't even make sense.
Truly. I agree with you on that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. How's that? Do you play like Little League? Like, how does that work?
I didn't play any sports.
How did youth activities work?
Youth activities? Oh, my youth activities were like blowing lines and
Midtown.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, my sister and I were on like drugs at a very early age. Yeah. And the first time, so I was in high school. I was like around 16, and my sister's 5 years younger. She was around 11, 12.
Okay.
And I was hanging out with my friend. She was with me, and we were gonna smoke weed. That was the plan. We met at Central Park, and he was gonna he smoked weed already. He was like, I'm gonna introduce it to you. My sister was there.
Yeah,
and I remember I was like, oh, I'm the big brother. I shouldn't No, I was just like, nah, I shouldn't do this. Like, also, like, And then my sister goes like, "Oh, stop being such a fucking pussy. It's just weed." And then she takes the hit. My 11-year-old sister at the time saying this to me.
She's smoking weed at 11?
Mm-hmm.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild regardless of area.
This is how poorly parented we were. Like, she got a fake ID at like 12 and then went skydiving.
I don't even know what that is. I don't even know how to respond to that.
It's insane. Dude.
Because if you grew up in Manhattan, you got a fake ID at 12. Do you realize, like, the logistics skydiving takes? Like, just to get there. How did you get there?
She made friends.
Well, what does that mean? Like, what does that mean? Did she hitchhike to go?
No. She just ordered a cab and, like, just went out to the site.
Ordering a cab at 12 is probably crazier than getting a fake ID at 12.
Dude, I'm telling you, like our lives, like, growing, it's fucking nuts. But it all makes sense now.
I mean, in the past hour, it doesn't.
Yeah. Well, I mean, much like life, right? Nothing in life really makes sense until you kind of, like, sort of think about it for at least a little bit. And you're like, okay, I think this makes sense.
Oh, my
And then
God.
you give it a certain amount of time, and then you find out that you're wrong about that, too. And you're like, well, now everything's changed. Like, I got to reconsider everything now.
Yeah, dude. I thought Elliot grew up kind of wild. You're doing it, baby.
Yeah.
You're what I thought Elliot grew up like.
Yeah.
And you, oh my God.
Yeah. So our activities as kids, we would host parties in these hotel rooms because my father was working, and it was just us in a fucking hotel suite. So we would invite all of our friends. So there'd be like 30 of us in a hotel blasting XM radio. That was the hot thing at the time. And just blowing lines, smoking weed. I did almost like an eighth, like an 8 ball, like a day. That's like,
What?
that's how much coke that we were doing.
You're such a Florida performing arts high school kid. The Venn diagram is just a circle for you. Just like, yep, that's me.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
That's Adam.
My Venn diagram is a circle.
Just a circle. There is zero difference. Holy shit.
Yeah.
No, I just go for an hour.
Okay.
That's it.
That's great.
Yeah, you're coming back on. There's so much more to talk about here.
I'd love to.
Thank you for having me on. Thank you for having me on. NFT.
If you like the idea and you want to purchase it, we're doing
it.
pre-orders. It's deceptionstones.com. And
you have a finite amount, correct?
As of right now, yes, but so this is like the series 1. The designs are going to change, so like it's going to be somewhat limited depending on like the type of release. So there's going to be like drops, you know.
Yeah, because I think I saw on the website you only have 300. Or it might be more.
Oh no, we didn't put a limit on it right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My bad.
But it is somewhat limited, yeah.
Okay, it's somewhat limited. Get up, Deception Stone, Adam Christopher. This is fun.
Thank you.
I fucking love this podcast.